What's new then? What's new on the flicks? Train arrives at La... Oh, it's less than a minute long. I may as well give it a watch. Fuck. The train's gonna hit me! The train's gonna hit me! Oh, thank goodness. Whew. That got my heart going there for a second. Jesus. That film's definitely held up. I can't deal with this blazer either. Everyone's get too... I'm going to get cranky. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Movies and Milk 30 Day Film Challenge, where today myself and Michael are going to be discussing our favourite films that predate the 60s. And the film that I'm going to be discussing today is a film that, very much like Michael mentioned in a previous video, it is very difficult, especially for a film fanatic, to choose his favourite film of all time. For others it may be an easier decision than some, but for me this is always a top competitor for my favourite film of all time. And like a majority of my favourite films of all time, they do naturally predate the 60s. 12 Angry Men follows a jury of, well, 12 very aggressive young men. Well, not young actually, they happen to be middle-aged. And they essentially have to decide whether a young boy is responsible for his father's homicide. Deciding if he is guilty or not would result in the young boy being executed. And so at the beginning of the film we have 90% of those jurors who believe the boy to be absolutely guilty. However, Henry Fonda, or his character's title, Juror 8, believes that the young boy is completely innocent. And so for the rest of the runtime of the film, Henry Fonda's character, Juror 8, must convince the other 11 jurors that this boy is innocent.
I can't see 2 slaps in the face provoking him into committing murder.
It may have been too many. Everyone has a breaking point.
Now, going into this film, it is completely predictable how the third act is going to turn out. We know the climax, we know the conclusion to the film. Yes, that is exactly how the film ends. However predictable the ending may appear, what happens throughout the runtime is something that we can never predict. The jurors provide their own explanations as to why they believe that the young boy is completely responsible for his father's death, through skips and hypothetical situations. And Henry Fonda's character, Juror 8 mind you, always has something up his sleeve to completely argue against that point. It is a wonderful film, it is very tense, and what's more is that it takes place in the hottest day of the year, so that intensity is naturally multiplied. We see the sweat dripping off of the jurors, they're constantly asking for water, they're dehydrated, they're not in a position to make a decision such as this, and it makes for one of the most probably unintentional suspenseful films I've ever seen. This young boy very much hangs in the balance of these 12 jurors, and only one of them believes that he is completely innocent. It is a fantastic film, and this is certainly Henry Fonda's greatest performance in my opinion, and his performance in this film is just so comfortable. He absolutely knows how to compose this character, ground that character in reality. This, for anyone, I've never been in the situation myself, would be such an incredibly difficult decision to make. And Henry Fonda's character, Juror 8 mind you, wants to give this young boy the benefit of the doubt. Somewhere in his mind he knows this young boy's innocent, and really the film is about convincing the 90% of those jurors he is right. It is a fantastically simplistic film, but the plot devices throughout the film is where the complexities really come in, and they all make sense entirely. And what's more is this film genuinely feels like a stage play, and that's what the story 12 Angry Men is best regarded as, a stage play. And it very much feels like that because we are trapped in this room with these 12 men for the duration of the film. Every now and then we've got a couple of exterior shots and interior shots of the courtroom, but other than that we are very much fixed in this reality. Brilliant film. I highly implore you check this one out. I know a lot of people can be put off with the idea of a film being shot in black and white, and definitely, admittedly, when I was younger that was definitely a complexity that I holstered at one point. However, nowadays they seem to be my favourite films of all time. There's something really charming and magical about a film that's shot in black and white. So please do yourself a favour, check out 12 Angry Men, or if you have already seen 12 Angry Men, drop us a comment below and tell us what you thought of the film. I would very much enjoy engaging in a little conversation regarding this film. So anyway, I'm going to draw the review to a close here and pass you back into the very capable hands of Mr. Michael McGorry. So Michael, please take it away. I still fucking semi-skimmed with a tail.
Thank you, Matthew. So the first film ever made was released back in 1896, meaning that Matthew and I had over 60 years of content to choose from for this video, which meant that this decision was excruciatingly hard. For the longest time I was going to talk about either Rear Window or 1933's King Kong, but then less than a week ago I finally got round to watching a film that I actually owned for many years. Nothing like a lockdown to get your money's worth, eh? The film in question is the 1950 classic Harvey. Can you see that? Can you see that? This film tells the story of Elwood Dowd, eloquently played by James Stewart, whose best friend in the whole wide world is an imaginary 6 foot tall white rabbit.
Harvey, it seems that Vida is having a party this afternoon, and Oh, you knew?
And the film follows not only him, but also the side characters that surround him. In particular, his sister, who's trying to get him into a mental hospital, and the doctors that work within that hospital. And yeah, where do you even begin with this film? First of all, James Stewart's performance. Matthew has already discussed the man twice in this 30-day film challenge, and I full-heartedly agree with him in saying that he was just one of the best performers back in his time. And while I've only seen a handful of his films, his performance as Elwood is just sublime. It is definitely my favourite performance of his that I have seen. The chemistry between him and Harvey is just palpable. And may I remind you that Harvey is just thin air.
Sense and sensibility. Random House. No, deluxe edition.
And not only that, but the character of Elwood is potentially my favourite film protagonist of all time. And please bear in mind that I only watched this film for the first time 3 days ago. Throughout most of the film he's just cool, calm and collected. He essentially just wanders through the entire film just willy-nilly. And he is just so inspiring.
You must be oh so smart, or oh so pleasant. Well, for years I was smart. I recommend pleasant.
But not only do we have James Stewart as Elwood, but we've also got the supporting characters who get quite a lot of focus. And the performances from the cast across the board are just phenomenal. In particular, Josephine Hull, who ended up getting herself an Academy Award for her performance in this film. The film is a comedy drama, and both the comedy and the drama still hold up very well. I laughed extremely hard quite a number of times during this film, and there were a couple of points that almost got me a bit teary-eyed. There is a third act reveal that I don't think a lot of modern audiences are going to like, but up until that point the film is just absolutely... there's just one word for it, it's charming. And I've said it multiple times during this review, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but Harvey is just charming. Not a lot of people talk about this film compared to the likes of 12 Angry Men or King Kong or Rear Window. But please, if you're just in the mood for a nice, wholesome comedy drama, check out Harvey. Was that alright then? Did I do the film justice? Thank you so very much for watching, ladies and gents. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comment section down below what is your favourite film that predates the 1960s. And if you haven't watched many films from that time period, I implore you to do so. And if you wish to take part in this 30-day movie challenge yourself, you can find the template over on the Movies and Milk Instagram. And until next time, stay safe, don't do anything stupid, and we'll see you tomorrow. Are you going to drink that? You've barely touched it.